It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo Parade for 5. What big teeth the hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science Potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you and welcome to this special edition of Science Bowl. Today we determine the third of our 4 finalists in this year's elementary competition. Let's meet today's schools. First, from Beltsville Academy, please meet Nina Fumipik, Grace Dustachio, and Luz Villanueva. And from Cora Rice Elementary School, here they are, Trinity Ingram, Proshan Das, and Trinity Moon. And now here are the categories of questions we use on Science Bowl.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo Parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's Science Potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
Here on Science Bowl, our game board reflects question difficulty with the easier questions on the left worth 5 and 10 points. The tougher ones worth 50, 20, and ultimately 25, the toughest question of them all. Both of our teams start out at 50 points apiece. No penalties ever for incorrect answers. At the end of the 2 rounds today, one of these 2 good-looking and talented teams will be the third of our 4 finalists joining University Park and Glenarden Woods. To make sure everything's working properly, let's go to the red team. Grace, would you try that buzzer for me? Thank you. Good luck to you, to Luz and to Nina. And at the green team, Proshan, would you try yours? Thank you, young man. Good luck to you and to the 2 Trinities. Are we ready? Yes. Let's do this. Congratulations on making it this far in our competition. You guys are phenomenal. Let's have a great game. We go alphabetically B before C. So Grace and Beltsville, start our game, please.
Green things for 15.
Green things for 15 points. Teams, what same word describes the outermost layer of your skin and the outermost layer of the surface of a leaf? Beltsville.
Your meridian?
Not your meridian, no. Cora Rice, what is the same name that describes the outermost layer of skin and the outer surface of a leaf? What do you think, guys?
Crust?
The epidermis. The epidermis, outermost layer in both kingdoms, plant and animal. Try again, red.
Zoo Parade for 10.
Zoo Parade for 10 points. Teams, the coat of this African equine apparently is meant to dissuade marauding lions. And we just learned recently, Cora Rice,
Zebras?
the zebra, yeah, those stripes keep lions confused, but now we've learned they also turn away horseflies. They like solid surfaces, so they win both ways. Good answer, go green.
Zoo Parade for 15.
Zoo Parade for 15 points. Look at the monitor in the studio, please, for this question. Teams, this small version of a hippopotamus, this small species, has what adjective describing it that is also a noun describing a very small tribe in Africa? Cora Rice?
Petite? Or pigeon?
Petite. Petite is not right. Beltsville. What adjective describes this smaller than normal hippopotamus also is a noun that describes a very small tribe in Africa? Pygmy. It's a pygmy hippopotamus. Try again, green.
Body systems for 10.
Body systems for 10 points. Teams, this is rather disturbing. 1 in 20 American adults has a fake version of this joint that jerks when doctors test your reaction time. Cora Rice?
Your knee?
You got that right, the knee-jerk reaction. And fake knees, artificial knees and artificial hips. A lot of them in aging baby boomers, 70, 50. Cora Rice, go.
Body systems for 15.
Body systems for 15 points. Teams, if you go to the dentist and he diagnoses that you have periodontal disease, your teeth are fine. You got problems with this. Cora Rice?
Your gums.
Your gums, that's right. That is a gum disease, sometimes worse than the dental pain of the teeth themselves. All right, you're on a nice roll over there. Where next, Prushan?
Let's get physical for 10.
Let's get physical for 10 points. Teams, one of the reasons why Americans want to go back to the moon is to mine this gas, which is in short supply here, and what we use oftentimes to fill giant balloons. Beltsville?
Helium.
Helium, yeah, it's an isotope of helium, helium-3, that's in abundance on the moon. Problem is, how do you get it back here? Go red.
Green things for 10.
Green things for 10 points. Teams, if you eat whole grain bread, you are getting what whole of what plant by getting both the bran and the endosperm that's inside the seed? Prushan?
The wheat.
The wheat, that's right. It's the whole wheat. You get the whole thing. All of the good parts. Okay, good. Go green.
Let's get physical for 15.
Get physical for 15 points. Teams, the graphite in your pencil is the slippery version of this chemical element that is... Yes, Cora Rice?
Lead.
Not lead. Good try. Beltsville, the graphite in your pencil is the slippery version of this chemical element that is more tightly bonded in a diamond.
Coal?
Carbon. Carbon. Carbon is the common element in graphite and in diamonds. Try again, green.
Science potpourri for 10.
Potpourri for 10 points. Teams, if you leave something too long in the refrigerator and it's covered with kind of woolly, fuzzy stuff, what is that? Cora Rice?
Mold.
That's mold, that's right. Fungus. It's a science experiment you never intended, right there in the fridge. 105 to 60. Go, Prushan.
A science potpourri for 15.
Potpourri for 15 points. Teams, one of the most popular songs ever, most popular science songs, is by Tom Lerner. It's had 3 million hits on YouTube. It's a song about all 114 of these on the periodic table. Cora Rice.
Elements.
Elements, all 114 elements, and he sings them, you know, boron, bismuth. It's all a nice tune. All right. Hard to memorize. Okay, go green.
Green. Zuparate for 20.
Zuparate for 20 points, a multiple choice question. Teams, the bodies of octopi and squid are so unusual that they belong to a group of animals known as the chordates, the cylinderates, or the cephalopods. Which of those three, Cora Rice?
The cephalopods?
The cephalopods, which means head, foot. Absolutely right. The head is the dominant feature there. All right, we've come to the first round. It's been mostly all Cora Rice, but I know the strength of the Beltsville team. They're going to come at us in the second round. We'll be back with part 2 in just a moment. Don't go away.
Diet and exercise are never easy. Then again, neither is dying. Sadly, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and stroke kill nearly 1 million people a year. Most of these deaths could be prevented. Please, talk to your doctor about your risk for diabetes and heart disease. And if your doctor recommends lifestyle changes or medication, listen. The reason so many die is because not enough are willing to change. You can stop it, starting right now. It's your life. Listen to your doctor. Eat better. Get moving.
I always thought being a good mother meant raising my baby myself. But when I got pregnant, I realized I wasn't ready to be a parent. So I did something I thought I could never do. I chose adoption. It was really hard, but I know my baby is with a loving family and has a very bright future.
Sometimes choosing adoption is being a good mother. Visit us at ichooseadoption.org.
Welcome back to Science. Well, thanks for spending part of your day with us. I hope you're testing your own scientific literacy along with these three players on both of our 2 teams here. This is an important round because today's winner goes on as the 3rd of our 4 finalists. We can see why you guys are here. You're playing a great game. Let's go first to Beltsville Academy. Grace, tell me about Beltsville Academy, your principal.
Miss Edwards. is a fairly new principal. I haven't been there for very long, so I think she's a fairly new
principal. That's great. Tell me about your school. I know you go all the way from pre-K to 8, which is different from most elementary schools. What is it about Beltsville that makes it a great place to go? Why do you like it?
Because you don't have to switch schools. When I was a kid, we moved around a lot, and I had to switch schools very often. In this one, if we decide to stay here for a while, then I can go all the way to 8th grade. I don't have to go to a separate middle school.
Yeah, but there's something to be said for stability. You know, change is good, but also, you know, sometimes you just like to know the lay of the land and the turf, and especially the teachers. Now, you have different teachers at the elementary and the middle school division. Beltsville has an interesting history. They came to us the first time earlier in the year with just a few hours' notice because of a mix-up in our scheduling, and boy, you've done so well here. Tell us about what it's been like to be on Science Bowl. What have you enjoyed?
I don't know. I enjoy a lot of it, but I don't really know what.
Yeah, well, I mean, you fell into this at the last minute. It's not something you've always wanted to do, but you're doing a nice job here. Grace, someday what do you hope to see yourself doing?
I hope to rescue animals and find a good home for them.
Yeah, and this young lady has a big heart and actually has a found mutt at home and loves her dearly, and she's lucky to have you, Grace. Luz, we're lucky to have you here today. Both you and Nina, your colleague, neither of you really have any firm idea what you want to do in the future, but what are some of the things that you like to do?
I like to play soccer and draw.
And draw. And why did you want to be on this show? Did someone ask you to do this at the last minute? Okay, so you are here, you volunteered, and we appreciate that you're here today. Nina, same thing with you. They came and said, do you want to be on the Science Bowl? And before you could say no, they said, you're going, right? So here you are. It's like you've been drafted. You've been drafted for the Science Bowl. I hope you're having a good time, because we like having you here. What do you like to do? It might influence maybe a future career.
I like to draw and play the flute.
And play your flute. Wow, how long have you played the flute?
For like 3 years.
3 years. Do you have your own? Mm-hmm. And there's an orchestra at Beltsville that you play, and that's wonderful. All right. Come on, girls, get some more points in the second half, all right? I want to see that number go up. Cora Rice, nice to have you guys here. Boy, you're a well-oiled machine over there. You guys play so well. You know each other so well. You almost finish each other's sentences. Tell us about Cora Rice. Who's your principal?
Our principal is Mr. Truman.
Wonderful. And the sponsor of your team?
And he is Mr. Baker.
Mr. Baker, a great sponsor, just as Miss Angeli is at Beltsville. We'll bring out both sponsors later with the alternates on these teams. Let me ask you what I asked Grace. At Cora Rice, what do you like to tell people about your school? What are you proud of?
We're proud of our mascot, what we do at our school. Like, sometimes we have pizza parties, and we like have dress down days, and I'm proud of like the stuff. Well, I'm proud of like.
Well, it sounds like, you know, you do a lot of things at the school there. What else were you going to tell me?
Like the field trips and experiments.
Oh, wow. Field trips. Well, that makes a big difference, doesn't it? It takes you out of your normal routine, and you get pizza parties and all because I guess you've been successful at certain things. Well, hopefully you get a pizza party or something really nice because of how well you did here on Science Bowl, and you racked up a lot of points. Tell us about your career goals.
I want to be a herpetologist when I grow up, which is like you study in the field of science of reptiles and amphibians.
Wow. And I know your interest in natural history extends to insects as well, right?
Yes.
That's wonderful. You play a real nice game, Proshan. We love having you here. And Trinity Moon, tell me about why you wanted to be on this show.
I wanted to be on the show because it seemed fun and a nice experience.
It is a nice experience for us. We hope it is for you, too. And how do you come by all your science knowledge? Because you seem to know an awful lot.
I watch a lot of Science Bowl matches and study a lot.
Wow, and it is paying off today. You're obviously an excellent student. And someday, I know you play basketball now, but you want to be a doctor someday. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, well, you're going to be a good doctor. I know that already. And Trinity Ingram, nice to have you here. Do you girls get confused oftentimes because you have the same first names? Does that happen?
We
Yes.
just use...
I would think so. I mean, it affected me at the beginning of the show here. Trinity, tell me about yourself. I know you're interested. I know, like Grace, you have an interest in animals. And you had a hamster at one time. You'd
Yes.
love to have a dog, right?
Yes.
If anyone's listening, Trinity would be a wonderful custodian for a dog. And what do you do in your spare time?
I like to draw and play with my little sister.
Right, and she's 3 years old, right?
Right.
All right, maybe she'll be on Science Bowl someday just like you are and doing just as well a job. Let's get back to our game. 140 for Cora Rice, 60 for Beltsville. Lots of points to give away. Let's start out. The team that gave us last correct answer, Cora Rice. Pro Sean, if you could start.
Green things for 20.
Green things for 20 points. Look at the monitor in the studio to start out our second half. Teams, we're going to show you a very beautiful flower. This is foxglove. And not only is it beautiful, we humans value it because it has many pharmacological properties. Meaning what? Meaning what, Cora Rice?
It's poisonous?
No, it's not poisonous. Beltsville, it has a lot of pharmacological properties, which is why we humans value it. Meaning it has what?
A good scent?
No, it's used for medical purposes. Medical purposes. They actually derive a heart drug from that. Digitalis, it's called. Try again, green. Good answers both places. Go.
Zoo parade for 5.
Zoo parade for 5 points. Teams, when you're on Science Bowl and you're a little nervous, sometimes you feel like you got these insects in Cora Rice.
Ants.
Not ants. That's a good try. Beltsville, the saying goes that sometimes if you're nervous, you got these insects in your stomach.
Butterflies.
Butterflies in your stomach. Maybe you were thinking ants in your pants over there, Prosha. I know you collect ants. I liked your answer. Go, Grace.
Dateline science for 10.
Dateline for 10 points. Seems to be very careful here. Back in 1883, when Krakatoa, the volcano in Indonesia, erupted, so much particulate matter was placed up into the atmosphere that for the next few years, we experienced global what? Cora Rice.
Cooling?
Cooling, absolutely right. The opposite of warming. We didn't trick you. You listened really well, young man. Go.
Body systems for 5.
Body systems for 5 points. Teams, behavioral mimicry happens even in our species. In fact, if you're sitting here at Science Bowl and you're bored or you're tired, you might do this and everybody else will start doing it too. Grace.
Yawning?
Yawning, that's right. We hope you don't start yawning. We'll try our best to keep this interesting. Go, Red.
What? Green things 25.
Green things 25. They're going for broke. They know they got to bring that score up. This is the question. Teams, mosses are not flowering plants. So instead of experiencing pollination with pollen and stigmas and ovules, they use a system of sperm and egg-like structures that come together not in pollination, but in this process. What do you think, Beltsville?
Sporing?
Not sporing. Good try. Egg and sperm-like structures coming together. Because it's not a flowering plant, it's not called pollination, it's called this.
Fertilization?
Yeah, it's fertilization. That's exactly right. Go, green.
Let's get physical for 5.
Let's get physical for 5 points. Teams, if you know Dr. Seuss, he made oobleck. Oobleck is when you mix water and cornstarch together and you get this stuff that's stuck somewhere between what two states of matter? Beltsville?
Solid and a liquid.
Solid and a liquid, absolutely right. If you stick your hand in and you pull it out real fast, it's liquid. You put your hand in and pull up slowly, you get a solid. It's gooey. I like it. Go, Red.
Science potpourri for 5.
Potpourri for 5 points. Teams, at last week's White House Science Fair, President Obama really liked the project where the sugar packet, along with the sugar inside, would do this if you dropped them into a cup of water. They would both do what? Cora Rice?
Dissolve?
Dissolve, absolutely right. So if you're going to use one of those equal packets, imagine if the whole thing just dissolved. That's kind of neat. You don't have any waste. Go, green.
Green things for 5.
Green things for 5 points. Teams, Charlie Brown and the Peanuts crew always get upset at these green things because they eat their kites. Cora Rice.
Trees?
Trees. The kite-eating trees. They always, what do? All right, good answer. Go, green.
Dateline science for 5.
Dateline for 5 points. Teams, this sounds like something out of a horror movie. There's a new threat in Florida. The headline said, giant African versions of these mollusks invade Miami. These mollusks have a friend in Gary, SpongeBob's pet. Cora Rice.
Snails?
Snails, that's right. Giant African snails that are eating the stucco off the homes in Miami. That is a threat. Go, green.
Dateline science for 15.
Dateline for 15 points. Teams, despite what happened in Japan at Fukushima when the tsunami hit last year, this country is about to build the first of these since 1977. Grace.
Nuclear power plant?
Yes, ma'am. They're going to build it down in Georgia, hopefully with lots of safeguards. Good answer, young lady. Go.
Body systems for 20.
Body systems, 20 points. Teams, high fructose corn syrup. If you eat it, it revs up your metabolism, and it causes this organ to pump out more insulin. Grace.
Your pelvis?
Not your pelvis. Good try. What organ pumps out more insulin if you take in high fructose corn syrup? What do you think, Proshan?
Kidney?
Good try. The pancreas. The pancreas. Try again, please, Grace.
Let's get physical for 20.
Let's get physical for 20 points. Teams, the only celestial objects that revolve around the sun that are not considered planets are these so-called dirty snowballs. Beltsville?
Comets?
Yeah. Oh, you knew that one cold. Absolutely. Comets it is. Good. Go.
20.
Potpourri for 20 points. Teams, the most famous formula of all, E equals mc squared, that Einstein put forth for his theory of relativity. It's even on our board up here. The C stands for what constant that we know travels at 186,000 miles per second? Cora Rice.
Light?
Light, yeah, it's the speed of light constant. Yes, indeed. Proshan, young man, go.
Zoo parade for 25.
Zoo parade for 25, big one in that category. Teams, a multiple choice question. Animals that are polyphagous, eat lots of different food, have multiple breeding partners, or can live in lots of different habitats. All right, Beltsville, you can get yourself 25 points if you choose the right one.
Lots of different habitats?
Not lots of different habitats. Polyphagous animals eat lots of different kinds of food, have multiple breeding partners, or can live in many different habitats.
Have multiple breeding partners?
It's the one neither of you chose. Poly means many, phagous means eat. They eat lots of different kinds of foods. All right, 210 to 110. We have just 5 questions left. Cora Rice, would you choose, please?
Dateline science for 20.
For 20 points under Dateline, teams, Benjamin Franklin advised ship captains way back when to take thermometers with them to sea to locate or avoid this warm current that flows along the Atlantic seaboard in the Atlantic Ocean. Can you name that warm current? Cora Rice.
The convection current?
Not the convection current. Good try. What is the name of that warm current that flows along the Atlantic seaboard that sailors can use to their advantage or not?
The Gulf current?
Gulf current, yes indeed, or Gulf Stream. Good answer. Good. Go red.
Science potpourri for 25.
Potpourri for 25 points. Teams, listen carefully and put on your thinking caps. It is very rare to find a whole animal fossilized. Sometimes you just get a skeleton or a piece of fur or something like that. The only time you find a whole animal fossilized is in these 2 situations. Give them to me. Animals that are found where would be whole? 2 places. Beltsville.
If it's in ice or if it's embedded in mud.
Ooh, good try. Good try. Cora Rice, can you give me 2 places where you might find a whole animal that is fossilized?
Rock. If it's in ice or in a rock.
Both of you got the ice. The one you didn't get was the Jurassic Park one, amber. Remember the insect that was perfectly preserved in amber. Nice try. 3 questions left. Go again, Grace.
Body systems for 25.
Body systems, 25 points. Teams, recently paramedics performed CPR on Whitney Houston because she was not doing what 2 things? All right, Beltsville, 2 things she was not doing which necessitated CPR.
Her heart was not pumping and she was not breathing.
Got them both. That's what I want to hear. Good. Cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Where next, young lady?
Dateline Science for 25.
Dateline for 25 points. Back in 1989, the U.S. Postal Service made a big mistake. They put a dinosaur on a stamp, and they called this thunder lizard by this name instead of its real name. Do we have any dinosaur experts up there? The thunder lizard was the what, Proshan?
Velociraptor?
Not the velociraptor. Good try. Ladies, the thunder lizard. Do you know what its name was?
T-Rex?
Good try. The Brontosaurus. The Brontosaurus, its real name is Apatosaurus. Let's get physical for 25. The last question of the game is as follows. Teams, you can use a barometer to find out the height of a mountain because this changes the higher up you go. Cora Rice.
Air pressure?
Air pressure it is. And with that, we come to the end of the game. And it looks like Cora Rice is headed to the finals. We'll be back with a wrap-up in just a moment. Don't go away.
Across America, service learning is helping students improve their grades and their communities. Service learning makes school exciting by connecting the classroom with community service projects.
Before service learning, I was just an ordinary student causing mischief during class. After service learning started, I got so involved into it, I started paying attention more, picked up my grades.
Okay, very good.
Service learning absolutely drives academic success.
Working together, students solve real problems, build new skills, and apply their knowledge in a whole new way.
The great thing about service learning is it gives you this opportunity to go out into the world and do things hands-on.
Inside the classroom and out, service learning opens new doors and brings learning to life. Service learning can make a difference in your school. Visit Learn and Serve America at learnandserve.gov to find out how.
I knew I needed help paying for college. I've always wanted to be a teacher. I used to make worksheets for my friends to do. No one ever wanted to come over. My guidance counselor told me about federal student aid, and my mom helped me fill out the free application. I got the grants and loans that made school possible. There is a way to pay for school. You just have to find it. My name is Caitlin. I'm going to be a special education teacher. I'm going to live my dream.
For years, scientists have explored remote corners of the Earth, searching for exotic substances that might help prevent cancer. At last, man has discovered a secret place where powerful remedies can actually be found. Medical research shows that a vegetarian diet, rich in fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, can help prevent many types of cancer. Wherever you live, cancer prevention is as close as your grocery store. To learn more, call 866-906-WELL.
Welcome back. What a great finale we had here to this round. We knew it would be a great game, and it was. Our final tally is Beltsville 155, Cora Rice 235. Cora Rice, congratulations. You are the third of the four finalists joining University Park and Glen Arden Woods. You are a real Cinderella team, too. You've never been this far in the competition. We are so proud of you all. Trinity and Proshan and Trinity and John and Mr. Baker, we will see you in the finals. And ladies, you were drafted to do this, but you stepped up and you did a terrific job all these many sessions, and we congratulate you, Nina and Grace and Luz, and we hope when you come back next time, if there's a next time, you'll come back and you'll have more time to prepare. Miss Angeli, thank you for doing this and for making this happen for Beltsville. Fantastic school, and you're marvelous for doing this, and thank you for watching. We'll see you next time on Science Bowl. Bye-bye.